The idea is inconsistent with our constitutional theory and has been stubbornly opposed by watchful men since the early days of the Republic. It's hard for me to believe that the Herald Tribune is backing away from the fight, and I can only assume that your editorial writer, in a hurry to get home for Thanksgiving, tripped over the First Amendment and thought it was the office cat. The investigation of alleged communists by the Thomas Committee has been a confusing spectacle for all of us. I believe its implications are widely misunderstood, and that the outcome is grave beyond exaggerating. The essence of our political theory in this country is that a man's conscience shall be a private, not a public affair, and that only his deeds and words shall be open to survey, censure, and to punishment. The idea is a decent one, and it works. It is an idea that cannot safely be compromised with, lest it be utterly destroyed. It cannot be modified, even under circumstances where, for security reasons, the temptation to modify it is great. I think security in critical times takes care of itself if the people and the institutions take care of themselves. First in line is the press. Security, for me, took a tumble, not when I read that there were communists in Hollywood, but when I read your editorial in praise of loyalty testing and thought control. If a man is in health, he doesn't need to take anybody else's temperature to know where he is going. If a newspaper or a motion picture company is in health, it can get rid of communists and spies simply by reading proof and by watching previews. I hold that it would be improper for any committee or any employer to examine my conscience. They wouldn't know how to get into it. They wouldn't know what to do when they got in there, and I wouldn't let them in anyway. Like other Americans, my acts and my words are open to inspection, not my thoughts or my political affiliation. As I pointed out, I am a member of a party of one. Your editorialist said he hoped the companies in checking for loyalty would use their powers sparingly and wisely. That is a wistful idea. One need only watch totalitarians at work to see that once men gain power over other men's minds, that power is never used sparingly and wisely, but lavishly and brutally, and with unspeakable results. If I must declare today that I am not a communist, tomorrow I shall have to testify that I am not a Unitarian, and the day after that I never belonged to a Dahlia Club. It is not a crime to believe anything at all in America. To date, it has not been declared illegal to belong to the Communist Party. Yet 10 men have been convicted not of wrongdoing, but of wrong-believing. That is news in this country, and if I have not misread history, it is bad news. E.B. White. On the same page, on the same day that White's November 29th letter was published in the Tribune, another editorial appeared entitled The Party of One. It said that people such as Mr. White have been with us since the dawn of civilization. They have always been highly valuable elements in our civilization and nearly always as destructive as they have been valuable. Members of the Party of One were also characterized as probably the most dangerous single elements in our confused and complicated society. White's reply to the Party of One editorial appeared on December 9th under the heading, Mr. White Believes Us Needlessly Unkind. New York, December 4th, 1947. To the New York Herald Tribune. The editorial that you wrote about me illustrated what I meant about the loyalty check system and about what would happen if it got going in the industrial world. My letter, expressing a dissenting opinion, was a letter that any conscientious reader might write to his newspaper, and you answered it by saying I belonged to probably the most dangerous element in our society. Thus a difference of opinion became suddenly a mark of infamy. A man who disagreed with the Tribune editorial used to be called plucky. Now he's called dangerous.